So, Evelyn, can you introduce yourself? Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name is Evelyn Montgomery. I work for the AtlantaLandGroup. I am Director of Operations here at AtlantaLandGroup, along with Executive Assistant for the owner of the company.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more about AtlantaLandGroup. What all do you do?
AtlantaLandGroup is regarded as a small boutique brokerage firm in real estate. Primarily, expertise is in land. Many brokerage firms will have many arms. They will do different sectors of real estate, such as office and industrial, apartments, retail, multi-mixed use, and we definitely have our arm in each one of those sectors, but we are the component, which is the land value of each of those transactions.
Okay. And tell me how your company is constituted. Are the salespeople on staff? Are they independents? How do you actually function as an organization?
We have two clients. We have our brokers, our independent contractors that work for AtlantaLandGroup. We have about 13 to 15 members, and then we have our clients, which is our buyers and sellers out in the marketplace. AtlantaLandGroup, for all intents and purposes, is a small company of 4 employees with about 13 to 15 independent brokers. So we service two different entities. We have our brokers, and then we have our buyers and sellers out in the marketplace.
Before CMIT was supporting your network, what kinds of problems and challenges did you find when you came here? Because you've only been with the company a little over 2 years, is that correct?
Correct.
So what did you find?
The challenges when I first came here was dissemination of information. It was very difficult. We were not on a network here in our office. It was a peer-to-peer network. Every office was its standalone personal computer with no real access to that information unless that individual gave you that information. So that was our biggest number one hurdle. Number two is we have to comply with state law that requires us to archive and hold information for 3 years. So it was difficult to have that information in a central location, have it protected, and have it in an organized manner so that we could comply with our state laws. And then there was no protection against viruses, for theft, fire, any catastrophic action that might occur on a business. So we had many hurdles.
Can we take one example and kind of do the math here? When you say that they couldn't get access to information, can you give me an example of when that would be a problem and what that might have cost them?
Real estate agents make their money not being in the office. If they're in the office, they're not out meeting with clients, they're not out viewing property, they're not out soliciting, and that's where we want all of our sales force, all of our agents to be doing. Not having information ready at their fingertips to present to their clients. So if they didn't have that, they would have to come back to the office, they'd have to prepare that, and then they would have to get back in the car and go back out to see their clients. They would have to meet them the first time, then to meet them a second time. So time and energy spent just being prepared to meet with clients.
And for a broker, time is truly money. I mean, their whole goal is to make the calls and close the business. So is it reasonable to say that because of the new way that you're doing this now, are they able to actually cut out one of the appointments? I mean, are they able to go in and work with clients right at the beginning?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Our clients have information at their disposal with a laptop, not even with a laptop, but even with our websites that we've gotten on board. They can go and have that information at their fingertips. It has definitely elevated us to a new standard on how we do business with our clients.
So that means if I'm a broker and I go out and I call on a client and the client says, gee, I'm looking for such and such a location, the broker in the office can either on their own laptop or on the internet in the prospect's office can actually go on and get that information.
Correct.
And in the past, they would have had to actually go back to the office, take that information with them, do the research at the office, and then come back? Is that what you're saying? They must be pretty happy.
They would have to have it on paper. They would have to know what it is their client was expecting.
I would think your brokers would be ecstatic over this. Have they actually been able to see any difference yet?
Definitely. They have actually added to their client list. They have more contacts than they've had before because they now have a way to access their clients at a quicker, faster pace and be able to communicate with them at a faster pace. People are apt to do more repeat business with you when they have the confidence that you can provide information professionally and accurate and in a timely manner.
When everybody was on a peer-to-peer network and every computer was independent, I got to think that was a nightmare in order to make sure that everybody's virus protection was up to date and all of the Windows updates were done. Did you find that they were in pretty bad shape when you took a look at that?
Definitely. We weren't having software consistency. We weren't having virus protection consistency. We weren't having backup consistency. For all intents and purposes, there was no backup being done in this office for years. But, you have to remember, it was a small company. It was about 3 or 4 individuals when it first started out. You can manage information on that scale. But as the company grew, you can't manage and you can't protect that kind of information independently. It has to be a systematic effort and a system and procedures in place.
Now, as I understand it, you now have the CMIT Guardian solution. Tell me, if anything happens to your system now, what's your understanding of how Guardian will protect you?
Guardian protects us if our server is stolen or breaks down or has some malfunction that actually halts business. The BDR can serve as an interim server. It can actually replace the server that we have now. So therefore, we don't have any downtime. We can just come in and resume business as if nothing had ever happened. As we all know, computers have problems and people have IT issues, and every individual person would have their own problems that were, of course, important, and immediate attention was needed at that time. And without a system to actually provide that kind of support, the agents would have to wait. Either somebody would have to come out to their office, you'd have to hire somebody, you'd have to go borrow a computer, you would have to wait days before you could actually have it serviced.
So now each of the individual computers are now on the Marathon Managed Services program. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
What's been a huge support for us is the help desk. So each agent who finds that they have issues with their computers or just their own personal issues with the way they're doing business or whatnot, that the help desk can actually guide them, answer the questions, that they would have that online support 24/7. Even when they were in here at night working late hours when no one is here, they could pick up the phone and they would have that service at their fingertips. There have been many times they've been here, they were either doing a last email newsletter, needed help with their Outlook, and the help desk actually helped them and walk them through simple email blasts to different clients.
And so what does having that help desk mean in terms of you and your role as administrator? I'm assuming that when they had that problem before, they used to call you.
That has definitely freed up my time so that I can devote my energies to other aspects of my job. So, yes, that has been, without a doubt, it is real money, it is real time, and it's real energy that I'm actually saving for our company.
Now, have you had any experience yet? I mean, a lot of people I interview about Marathon will tell me that, boy, sometimes they actually call us up and tell us, hey, we fixed something on your computer that was a real problem. No worries, we did it remotely, and you can keep on going. And so they actually get things fixed before you even knew that there was a problem. Have you experienced that?
I've actually had many instances where we've had power outages out here at our office, and CMIT could see that the server is down, and they could manage that remotely. And we would come back to office and had no idea that this had occurred, and we just turn on our computers and we go about doing our business. So it was wonderful. And we find that we have absolutely no downtime at this point in time, and we go weeks without any downtime of any kind. It's almost as if the system is finally primed and it's actually working very smoothly.
Tell me about Robert Funk and about CMIT Solutions. Are they a good strategic partner? Do they help you from a business standpoint? Do they really understand what you're about, or are they just techies?
They really do understand. They have been wonderful at getting to know what we do as a business and where our revenue comes from. This is when I think CMIT and Marathon, we're really going to get our money's worth out of the company, because now this is when the consulting actually comes in. This is where I can look to them for guidance toward the future. We're looking to do certain things better than we're doing now. Please hold my hand and get me to that next destination. Let's drive to point B together, but I need your guidance. That's what we're looking forward with CMIT as we go into the second year together.
So tell me about Robert. What's Robert like to work with?
He is wonderful. He's efficient. I mean, as far as professionalism, it's just top-notch. So we're working with someone who's professional. We're someone that understands timeliness, what we do here in our company and what's important. So we have the technical aspect, which sometimes is over my head. Most of the time it is over my head. And then number two, you also want to know what others are doing in your marketplace, like you. Other companies of our size, what are they doing? So we get that information in a 3-tier model. When we began this process, we interviewed various different organizations. We interviewed national companies. We interviewed your mom and pop that worked out of your garage. I needed somebody that was going to walk the walk with us, that every step of the way they were going to be side by side as if they were a department down the hall. That's what I was looking for in a company, and that's why I went with CMIT.